Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm skipping the intro. I want to review this album already. Today, me, Scott, Jacob are going to be finally continuing our series through the Rolling Stones. And of course, with the amazing guest, we got Jason. So give a hand to two-time Super Bowl winning fan there.
Three
Soon to
times.
be the three-peating champion. That'll be because let's face it, I'm a miserable Jets fan, and I want everyone else to be miserable. So I'm rooting for that very reason. Like, the Jets, I can't be happy as a Jets fan. No one can be happy. I mean, besides Chief fans, they'd be the only ones who are gonna be happy. But, anyways, how are all three of you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Doing good, but I think Jacob froze on you.
Yeah, what happened to Jacob? That's okay.
Oh boy. Here's where the
Million.
and the heartaches begin. Telling you the heartaches begin. College reference. But yeah, like I said, me and Scott and Jacob will be continuing our journey through the Rolling Stones. I'm very happy that we're finally picking this series back up, and I'll be honest, I'm gonna try to be a little bit more attentive on this series because just like Fleetwood Mac, I feel like it was getting forgotten about. So shout outs to Scott, by the way, for reminding me of this because I was starting to forget about it. Not gonna lie. We have after this album, we have 1, 2. By the way, I'm stalling because Jacob's not here. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more albums to review. So we still have quite a bit to review, but
Yeah.
the way I look at it, we're over halfway done. We're halfway there.
Isn't this number 14 or something like that, 15, 16, thereabouts?
Yeah, pretty much.
You guys covered some of the extra stuff like Flowers, right? Or what?
Yeah, Flowers. We're doing the US albums as well. But
US album, because UK albums is 24 albums, so US you're adding a couple more.
yeah, plus Flowers.
Yeah, Flowers is essential if for nothing else. Sitting on a fence. That song's amazing.
It's one album. Like
I know it's like one of the few 60s Stones albums you like.
yeah.
That and Beggar's Banquet and I believe Let It Be Bleed. You like those three albums?
Yeah. Beggar's Banquet is fantastic.
Another thing I want to note is that I want to emphasize that Jason will be joining us on the next review, Emotional Rescue, if you're still want to do that album.
Okay.
Let me know if you like the album still, because I don't want it to be another trick of the tail situation where you're like, oh, this album sucks now for me. I would let me know in advance. Like if you're like, hey Nick, I don't like the album as much anymore. I'd be like, okay, you don't have to join. So Emotional Rescue, I believe Bigger Bang as well. If I'm correct.
Yeah.
That album still shocks me that you like that one. I was like, I remember like, okay, me and Jason are gonna freaking agree on that. I love the Rolling Stones to death, but that's something that I know Jason doesn't care for them. Me and Jason are gonna agree on this, and then this is my number 3. I'm like, wow, one of the few times I thought me and Jason were gonna agree on something. It's like
that was a rocking album, yeah.
I need to listen to it again. Jacob texted, we'll be back in a second. My power blinked. All right.
Kind of like, wow, this album's a real rocker. It's just, most of them are just pretty much rock songs.
Yeah.
Not a lot of ballads, not a lot of other, I mean, there's a country song in here, so they have a little variety of those, but it's just, to me, maybe the most rocking album that I can remember.
I need to listen to it more, not gonna lie, because I'll admit, after a certain point of the discography, they kind of lose me. Like Bridges to Babylon, Bigger Bang.
There's some forgettable ones.
Blue and Lonesome. I'm like, these 3 albums to me are so forgetful. But then they bring me back up with Hackney Diamonds, which I'm proud to say Jason will 1,000% join us on, because I know you really like that album.
Yes.
I still haven't listened to it yet. I've been saving it for the review.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've heard little bits and snippets of Angry, but that's about it.
Don't be angry with me.
Someone won a Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. I was like,
Did it
man,
win a Grammy or was it nominated for a Grammy?
Hackney Diamonds won Best Rock Album.
Okay, that's good
very deserving.
for sure.
I was
mean,
happy that, and Now and Then winning made me happy. I was like, finally, Grammys have good. I mean,
my review for Now and Then is still I haven't heard it.
And then like Beyonce's hasn't won Album of the Year. She's been making albums since the 90s, and she finally got an Album of the Year award.
she has the most Grammys out of anybody in the history of the Grammys. Been nominated more than like anybody. Yeah, it wins for I guess a country album. Though I'm hearing people say it's not.
It's not really. I don't think it's really a country album. Even Beyonce admitted this isn't a country album. This is a Beyonce album
With cowboy lyrics.
Cowboy Card.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it at some point. But
I'll admit, I'm like,
she had some good songs, but I think Beyonce is overrated as sin. Personally.
But
yeah, so sorry about that. I had a power blinkage because it's raining here, and it blinked quick enough that it kicked me out.
don't worry, Jacob. Me, Scott, and Jason, we were just stalling a little bit. We were just talking a little bit about the Rolling Stones. I mean, it's been a while since we talked about the Rolling Stones. Let me check on our last review. Blue and Lonesome. Not Blue and Lonesome.
Black and Blue. Black and Blue.
When was that one?
Black and Blue.
Their most underrated album.
December. That was our last review. Was December, and we're in February. So yeah, it's been a whole month since we discussed the Rolling Stone album. But Jacob, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Fingers crossed my power stays back on so we can get through this review.
I mean, with the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertaining us.
Hi, guys. Hope you're doing well. Caleb,
got the Lakers.
You're a bandwagon. You were a Spurs fan.
What's going on?
As someone from Dallas, I got my eye on you.
you bandwagon. Nah, all love. I don't care. It's your decision. For me, it'll always be Knicks. Knicks, Mets, Rangers, Jets. Will never change my opinion on that. No matter how many times Jason tries to lure me into the Chiefs, I will always be a Jets fan through thick and thin. But
especially if their quarterback's name is Benny.
Benny and the Jets. Anyways, we're talking about the next Rolling Stones album, Some Girls, and again, it's been a month since we did this review, so I'm gonna ask this again. Is there anyone doing background information on this on the series?
I think when Breyer was on the Mick Taylor ones, he was doing it. I think before, I don't think any of us were.
All right then. Now, thank you for reminding me, because like I said, we do this like every once a month, and I always end up forgetting. But since no one's doing background information, what are you guys' brief thoughts on this album?
Yeah, of course, I'm on the series because this is one of my favorite Rolling Stones albums. It's a top 5 album for me, and so that's why I'm here. Yeah, so it's one of the more positive views you're going to get on the Rolling Stones from.
Yeah, going in, I always knew this was one of their biggest albums. There's 3 really big hit songs on it, which we'll get to, and listening to the whole context of the album, at least of the albums that we've listened to at this point, this album's pretty high on my ranking. This one is pretty cool.
In the past, I kind of dismissed the albums after Exile and before this album. I've kind of got more of an appreciation for them now, especially Goat Head Soup. That one is super underrated. I love do-do-do-do-do, Heartbreaker. I'm still not too keen on Black and Blue, but I will say that this is the best album that the Stones have done since Exile. You kind of get the return of what the Stones do best, just make some amazing rocking numbers, and they're even playing a little bit with new styles and appealing to a new audience. So I like that they're not only sticking to their guns, but also kind of trailblazing into new territory here. Really love the singles on this, and I love a lot of the deep cuts as well. I will say that this is a very solid Stones record, to say the least.
Okay. For me, to me, this is an incredible Stones album. Of course, this is considered to be one of their better albums. This is considered to be like their big comeback record after, Goat's Head Soup, Only Rock and Roll, and Black and Blue. Those are considered to be kind of their low, kind of like a low period after those four albums that came before it. Yeah, I mean, 68 was their first big comeback with Beggar's Banquet. This was their second big comeback. And we're going to see another big comeback when we get to Steel Wheels. So it won't be the last time you'll be hearing me say that they made a comeback. And actually, as a matter of fact, I'd say they made a fourth comeback recently with Diamond. So they made 4 different comebacks. To me, that's impressive. I think that's impressive how 68 they went down because of Satanic Majesty. Then they came back with Beggar's Banquet. Then they came down again after Exile. Then they came back with this album. And then, of course, Steel Wheels. That brought them back up. And Active Diamonds, not only did it bring them back up, but it brought them a Grammy. So the Rolling Stones, they go through a lot of ups and downs. And I'm very happy that they always manage to find themselves bringing themselves up. Anyways, that was just a whole lot of me yapping. I really like this album. This is a classic upon classics. I mean, I'd say there's like 3 humongous hits on this album. Like 3 songs, like you don't even have to be a Stones fan to like it. It's just 3 songs that are so recognizable for the Stones, and you hear it on the radio. And I'm very excited for this discussion because there's a lot of good to talk about.
What's the third hit? I know 2 hits on here.
Shattered. Yeah, it's believe it or not, that was a pretty big hit back in the day.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna miss you.
Real quick before we start this, do we want to talk about the album cover?
Oh yeah. Sure. Let's talk about it. Let's talk.
Pull it
album.
out here.
What's your guys' thoughts on the album cover?
I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking at. Is that the Stones in drag? Is that what that is?
Okay, so here's what this is. This was a page from a beauty magazine. You can find the original page on the original CD issue because they got sued for this album cover. Because some of the faces on here are the Stones. Some of them are famous actresses like Lucille Ball and Marilyn Monroe. And then they just added George Harrison on there to be funny as well.
Oh, okay.
But they added their faces onto there, and they got sued by the actresses, and so they had to cover up their faces on later editions. This is the first issue. And what's cool about it is whenever you pull out when you pull out the inner sleeve, there's the picture, and it's like a die cut thing. That those are the faces, and it goes into that. I think that's pretty cool. Still, though, it is kind of a weird album cover.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle on it. I think they've had better album covers, but I do think they've had a lot worse, like Goat's Head Soup and Undercover. And I see, I'm not even a big fan of the Sticky Fingers album cover. So
no. I like the Exile cover though. That one's cool.
I feel like the Rolling Stones and Fleetwood Mac are very hit or miss with their album covers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
very, very hit or miss. As for my thoughts, yeah, I'm in the agreement that it's not a good album cover. It's one of those things where it's like, let the music talk. Don't let the album cover talk. Because if I'm going off the album cover, I would be giving negative reviews. But yeah, I think the album cover not one of my favorites, if I'm being honest. Anyways, after this review, Jason, I'm gonna miss you.
You're missing.
It's to segue into the song.
Am I going somewhere? Okay.
To bed, I guess.
Yeah, start with a really strong big hit song. I think it's a good start to the album. No surprise, it's one of my favorite songs on the album. I want to say it's one of my favorite Rolling Stones songs. I can't remember if it made my top 10 or not. I'm trying to think back when. If it didn't, I think it might have been like an honorable mention when I did my Rolling Stones ranking. Yeah, it's very recognizable. The do 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 do, that whole thing. I like that. That's a real catchy part. And I think what I like about Mick Jagger in this is he does a lot of, like, almost talk singing throughout the album. He does almost like he's talking, but he's singing a little bit. I think it works the best on this song because I feel like you get a lot of Mick Jagger's personality, the way he sings it. He definitely sings it in a unique way that no one else does. I think that really makes, that's why they're the Rolling Stones. They got that kind of uniqueness to Mick Jagger. I don't always like Mick Jagger's voice. Sometimes I think he doesn't have a good voice, but sometimes it works. Like on this song, I think he puts a lot into it, and you get a lot of him in it, and it's kind of enjoyable in that way. But overall, yeah, very good song, very good start to the album.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest hits of the Rolling Stones. I think this was a #1 hit from them, if I'm not mistaken, on the Hot 100. This is them going disco, which they hadn't really done that prior. I think they experimented with other genres. This one, I think they've done like funk and reggae and other types of genres, but this is where they really started to tap into disco, which was real popular in the late 70s. And man, it works great in their favor. The guitar on this song's awesome. There's a great percussion rhythm from Charlie Watts. I love the bass on this song. Mick Jagger, his personality, like you said, Jason, comes alive the way he sings on it. It's funny. I've already listened to the Emotional Rescue album, so I can comment on that. There's one song on that album where he does a falsetto, and it's terrible. This song, he does a and it works great on this song. So I don't know what happened between this and the song that we're gonna get to on the next album. Yeah, there's some good harmonica on this song too, which you don't really hear a lot in disco. It's kind of a unique thing. There's even a sax solo that's awesome. Yeah, this is one of the best songs on the album. This kicks off the album with a bang, and this one did make my top 5.
This is my second favorite Stones song, period. You want to know why?
Oh.
The groove.
Yeah.
The groove on this song. Oh my goodness. Charlie Watts and Bill Wyman are so just in the groove on this song. The bass line is one of my favorite bass lines in any song. It's just that disco-y bass line, especially whenever he does those walk-ups and walks like that. Boom, 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 boom. You really just feel the bass on this one. It's just like, ooh. And you got the guitar, boom, 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 and then I love the part where it just cuts out and he goes, "I've been walking in Central Park. I've been staying after dark. People think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Walking in the street, shuffling my feet, asking people, what's the matter with you, boy?" I love that. I love that part so much.
Yeah.
I just like to groove to this song. Every time I turn this song on, play it on my sound system on my record, I just get in the groove and I'm just like, oh, these guys are just so in groove here, man. That's why I love this song. This song just brings the groove. It's incredible.
It's a good comparison. I'd say this reminds me of Another One Bites the Dust. That's what the song reminds me of with the groove.
See that?
This is like Another One Bites the Dust before Another One Bites the Dust. It's like I can imagine some Stones fans were pissed at the time. It was like, how are they going to do this? They're supposed to be a dirty, gritty rock band. What are they doing? So there's probably still purists who don't like this song who for that very reason, but I'm not a purist. I think this is a great song. Never been one of my favorite Stones songs. Like, I don't see this being in my top 50 Stone songs personally, because I think the Stones just have a lot of great songs, and it's kind of hard picking the top Stone songs. But on its own, it's a pretty cool song, and it's a pretty cool album opener. I will say it does feel out of place because the rest of the songs don't come close to sounding anything like this song. This is definitely the most disco-y you'll hear the Stones.
Yeah, I see that.
I mean, they get into a little bit more pop. They get more into a pop direction in Undercover, but to me, this is like their real disco song, and I really enjoy it. This is a great song. We get to the next song, "When the Whip Comes Down." This is a complete 180 from the last song. We get to rock song.
Yeah, this is a really good rock song, I think, on the album. I want to say right now, like, the best thing about this album is the two guitars playing throughout this album. I know Keith Richards is one. Who's the other one? Mick Taylor? I can't remember.
Ronnie Wood.
Ronnie Wood.
Yeah, Mick Taylor left the group after
He left.
rock and roll.
I really like the two guitars when they're playing together. I think it's a very good strength of the band. Like, I didn't think about both of them playing different things at the same time, but they're both rocking guitar parts. And that goes throughout pretty much the whole album, but I really felt it on this song, definitely. I thought the two guitar parts sounded so good. It sounded a little heavier to me than normal Rolling Stones. I don't know if that's just me, but I almost felt like the guitars were a little even more heavier than usual sounding. And maybe that's because I haven't been listening to Rolling Stones lately, but I was like really impressed. I was like, wow, I really love the sound of these guitars. And yeah, this just song is a really good upbeat rock song, done really well.
All right, so there's two songs on this album that I'm not really that crazy about, and this one is one of them. Now, production-wise, this is a terrific song. I love the guitar parts, especially. The chorus, I'll admit, is pretty catchy. I do like the drumming and stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, like the Rolling Stones had some edgy songs, and sometimes they go a little bit too far, like how I felt with Star Star, for instance. This is another one where it's like when you look at the story and you put two and two together with the chorus, "When the Whip Comes Down," I'm like, am I supposed to be liking this? Like, this is weird. The song was a little too weird for my liking as far as like sexuality goes and stuff. But I guess it's great production on it though, but it's just not for me.
I wasn't really paying attention to that, so I was just
Yeah,
kind of
me either.
rocking out with it. Ronnie Wood is a great addition to this band. I feel like he was a little underutilized on the last album, but he's really found his sound with this one. He helps make this song really just rock. Him and Keith Richards are just going away at it, and Mick Jagger is just wailing. So yeah, really, really cool rock song here.
All right. Where am I gonna side? Did I just
You're turning into me now.
Kevin Preston.
I mean that in all love, Jacob.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Of course. I mean, yeah, I love it when you guys replicate when I do my crash out with the garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage. In all seriousness, though, I love this song. To me, this is one of my favorites on the album. This is actually in my top 5. I really, really like this song. I didn't pay attention to the lyrics. After what you told me, Jacob, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't like this song. Maybe I should. I just hear it's like a great rocking song with a "When the Whip Comes Down." when we come down. Like I love how rocking it is, but after you tell me that, I'm like, now I feel bad for having this in my top 5.
Hey, I will say I did pay attention to the lyrics on Faraway Eyes. That was funny. We'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah. I mean that's half the reason why I don't pay attention to Guns N' Roses lyrics is for that reason, because
Oh,
it makes me feel bad for liking the music. I'm like every time I pay attention to some of their edgy lyrics, I'm like, why am I listening to this? But then Slash comes in with an epic guitar solo. I'm like, hell yeah, that's the reason why I'm listening to this album or this song is because of Slash. I think we could all agree on that at least. Slash brings life to an otherwise very, very uncomfortable band with some uncomfortable lyrics. But anyways, I thought this was an amazing song. I get where Jacob's coming from now. I'm like, that's what it means. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Because at first I'm like, how can you not like this song? This song rocks. And I'm like, oh, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, when I saw the word whip in the title, I was a little worried, but
is this going to be another Brown Sugar situation or?
I was hoping not.
I will say I'd rather hear this song over Brown Sugar. So
fair enough.
See, I really like Brown Sugar. I thought that's like one of their best songs, and then I heard Jacob review it, and I'm like, oh no, I never listened to the lyrics. I didn't know.
I still like Brown Sugar. I just take it as a product of its time. It's a little out there to say the least.
I will admit I do like Island Girl still.
No, I unashamedly like that. Elton John and Bernie Taupin had no ill will when they were making that song. I know that.
Yeah. I like Brown Sugar, but not the song, if that makes sense. But anyways, that's just my imagination running away with me.
Yeah, just your imagination. Okay, so someone's going to tell me what's going on with this song, because isn't this like a Temptation song? Am I crazy?
It is.
Okay. Because they started singing, and I'm like, wait a minute. This has got to be a cover, right? And I was trying to think what it was, and then I just realized it was like a Motown, right, song. And I'm like, yeah, I really like this song. Just my imagination. Yeah, great melodies, great, catchy song. And I didn't realize they did a cover of this. And I've heard this album before, but I totally forgot about the song. And I was like, wow. So they did like a rocking version of Just My Imagination, this Motown song. And I really liked it. It's one of my favorite songs in the album. Most of that's just because I already liked the album before they even did it. And then I kind of enjoyed this cover. It's a little more rocking. I think the guitars sound great on here. Again, I'm liking the guitars. And I thought it really worked for me. I'm curious what you guys think.
This was one of their, before Jacob gives his review, the Temptation song you're referring to, the one that they're covering, it was after David Ruffin left the group. That was after their prime period with like My Girl and Getting Ready and Ain't Too Proud to Beg, Sweet Darling. Like that's like their prime, but like that's like past their prime, and they were still able to make a great hit like that. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys have to say about this cover as well, actually.
All right, so this is the third time now that the Stones have covered a Temptation song. First, you had My Girl. That version sucked. They had Ain't Too Proud to Beg. And I really like that cover off of It's Only Rock and Roll. This one, I don't think it's as good as their cover of Ain't Too Proud to Beg, but it's still a lot better than the My Girl cover. I still think the My Girl cover is one of the worst Stones songs, period. I don't think this comes near as close as the Temptation version. I love the soul that's in the Temptations version, and it is sorely missing in the Stones version. I don't think the more rockin' production, I think it's fun as kind of a novelty. And I mean they sing it very well, and I enjoy it for what it is, but it doesn't come close to matching the soul and the emotion that I get from listening to the Temptations singing this exact same song, where it's a lot slower and more of a ballad type. It also kind of cracks me up the way I think you get to the last verse, it involves the main character praying, and it works great in the Temptations version, the Stones version, Mick Jagger's like, "Dear Lord," I'm like, I could not take him seriously when he said, "Dear Lord." Like, what are we doing? Like, I like it fine. It's good for what it is. I still put it on my Rolling Stones playlist. It's a fun cover, but it didn't make my top 5.
I actually really like this song. I didn't know it was a cover till just now, so I'll have to check out the Temptations version now. Add that to my list of things to listen to. But I really enjoyed this song. I thought it was cool. It had a nice groove to it, and I love Keith Richards' guitar tone on this with the phaser effect. I think that's really cool. I always, that late 70s phased guitar sound. I always like it whenever they use that particular sound. We'll see if this makes my top 5, but I actually pleasantly enjoyed this one.
I love this song so much. I think this is an incredible cover. And knowing me, knowing you, you know that I liked all 2 of their other covers, My Girl and especially Ain't Too Proud to Beg. But I love this version so much. My hot take is I think this is better than the Temptations version. So we're getting, to me, we're progressing with their covers. Like the first one, I think the Temptations version is just that much better than the Stones version. I mean, I like My Girl, but come on, David Ruffin, you can't beat him singing that. Then Ain't Too Proud to Beg. It's like, now we're getting equal. Now we're starting to get a little equal. This, I'm like, yeah, now the Stones are starting to, now they're getting better. Now I think this is now better. So it went from worse to equal to better. So to me, that's what I call development. That's what I call getting better. I really like this version. I've always preferred this version because I'll be honest, I've heard this version way before this Temptations version, so it's going to be a little bias on my end, and I'm sure with Jacob, it's a bias on his end. So we both have a bias, and for me, this is my bias, is the Stones version. Well, we're gonna have a fun discussion on this next track, and I am dying to know what we have to say about this quite possibly controversial Stones song, Some Girls.
Yeah, Some Girls, again, I really like the guitar playing. I think it's still, good rocking, instrumentally. There's something in here. I don't know if it's I called it electric harmonica because it sounds like harmonica, but it sounds like harmonica on steroids or something. I don't know what's going on here. Or is that just the guitar playing? I don't know. But it's like a really cool sound that goes on through here. I don't like this song nearly as much as the first 3 songs. I think are just like really good songs. But I think it's okay. It's not a terrible song. I'm kind of in the middle on it. It's like, it's okay. It's not one of my favorite. But I still like the overall production, I guess, of it, and the whole instrumentation, I think, is really good.
Yeah, this is the other song that I'm not as crazy about. I do like the guitar work on this song, and much like with When the Whip Comes Down, the production on it's pretty good, but for me, I do not like Mick Jagger's vocals on this song. Like, it is, I don't know what he's trying to go for on this song. He's like, "Young girls like to do this, some girls like to do that," and it's not a hot garbage song, but it was one that I struggled to get into. Of course, I'm sure Nick and Scott will probably dive deeper into probably the most controversial line in any Rolling Stone song, where it's like the black girls love to get bleeped all day long or something like that. And I'm like,
I'll be the one to discuss.
I'm like, did that really need to be in there? I'm like, that's another case where it's like Star Store, where it's like edgy for the sake of being edgy, and it doesn't really work. So, I think they're trying to do like a more comical song, but it's another one where I just struggle to get into. This is my least favorite song on the album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would like to be the one who discusses that.
All right. I will say that I like most of this song. Most of the song is actually really funny. It's like, the Rolling Stones have been all over the world and been with all kinds of girls, and it's Mick Jagger just talking about all the girls, and it's like, there's one where it's like, some girls give me kids that I never asked for. I'm like, well, I think we know why, Mick. But then we get to the one line, and I'm like, No, that was too much. I'm like, you were being just edgy enough where it was funny, but then whenever you said that one line, you crossed the line. That was too much, Mick. You should have just left with the slightly edgy. Shouldn't have said that. But the rest of the song, I think, has kind of a clever wit to it, and I love the production on it.
I really like this song because it just I love the Rolling Stones edgy lyrics. And again, you're talking to someone who loves Guns N' Roses, so take what I say with a grain of salt. What I'm about to say, I love all the lyrics on the song. I think it's just I think they're purposely being edgy for this. I love their Scott's like, I don't like edgy lyrics. I love edgy lyrics. I love when
It
a band.
depends. Most of it is funny, but the one line was a little too much.
That's why I'll never suggest any rap albums for you, Scott, because you get through like half of a song and you'd be like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like Kendrick Lamar or like Drake, you'd be like, screw this. Even me, I like edgy lyrics, and even I'm like, come on, guys, tone it down just a little bit, please. If you're hearing me say that, then oh boy, you guys would really hate it. So, anyways, back on the topic of this song, it's to me, they're just a band who just didn't give a crap, and I like that. I like that. I mean, Star is a prime exception of that because it's just them repeating it over and over. And like, if you would have kept saying, and I'm gonna say the lyric now, he said, "Black girls want to get fucked all night." I'm like, all right. Whoa. Oh, you know what? It's only one time, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't agree with the lyrics. That's kind of messed up, but.
Well, then the next line.
Give me all your money.
No, what he says right after that.
I'm not gonna. I can't remember the full line, but that's definitely part of it. Yeah. Anyone who thinks that I don't know. I mean, they were kind of pushing it already with Brown Sugar with the just like a black girl should. Like, all right, but besides that, I like. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the lyrics now. I just don't have that much jam. Alrighty then, but yeah, I like the Chinese girls, French girls, American girls. If this song was released today, immediately canceled. Like immediately, like it'll be on there. It'll be like released for like a minute, and all the angry feminists would right away would.
Some Girls Hackney Diamonds Tour 2025.
Yeah, pretty much. But again, I like the edginess of it. Having that said, I rarely listen to this song. Like, I only listen to it when I'm listening to the album. Yeah, not one of my favorites on the albums, but if I want to listen to those Stones being at their absolute edgiest, I'd listen to the song. But
this is probably their edgiest song.
For sure.
This or Brown Sugar.
Those two,
actually, no, I take that back. I forget Star exists.
That's not edgy. That's just them being juvenile for no reason. Like repeating the same curse word, star. That's not being edgy. That's just them being juvenile. Like, to me, the difference between juvenile and edgy is like you curse once or twice in a song, and the lyrics are a little like on the cup of being risky. But to me, juvenile is just them repeating the curse word just for the sake of repeating the curse word, and to me, that's where I draw the line.
Aerosmith.
Anyways, we close side one with one of two punk rock sounding songs, and that's gonna be Lies.
Yeah, it's a song that, again, I thought the guitar playing really good overall, and bass playing and all that. Still really rocking. I enjoyed that part of it. I don't know. I wasn't as into Jagger's vocals on this one. It's one of my least favorite of his. I think it's just he feels like he's just kind of screaming all the time, and it's just chaotic. The best word I had for it was like it just felt like a chaotic song, a lot of screaming, but good guitar playing.
All right. After 3 songs I wasn't as crazy on, now we're back to some great quality from the Rolling Stones. I love the rock and production on here. The vocals are really good. This one was one of the catchier songs on the album, very memorable. I don't really have much to say on it, but this one did make my top 5. I love the hook. Nice, nice.
Yeah, this one rocks. Love the guitars on it. Another great song here.
I love this song. This is one of my favorites on the album. I've always really liked the song because I think the musicianship is great, but I love the vocals. Lies, 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 lies. To me, this is a really, really criminal. This is a criminally underrated song. I feel like this should have been a big hit. Like this has like a Stones hit vibe to it. Like in my opinion, I think this is single worthy. Should have been released as a single, in my opinion.
Or the bottom for me. Interesting.
But to me, of course, I know me and Jason disagree, but that's just my opinion. I think this would have been a decently. I wouldn't say this would have been as big as "Miss You" or "Beast of Burden." Of course, I mean those two songs were massive, but I feel like this would have been a minor hit if they would have released as a single. I'm surprised because this was around the punk age craze. So I'm shocked they never released this as a single.
Oh, this was 78, right? That's the Clash had their first album then.
Yeah. We're gonna flip the record over, and just like last time, I don't have the album, so I'm just gonna put a random album that I just put right here. We get to the Faraway Eyes, and it's the one and only country song on this album. I know for a fact Jason's gonna hate it. So. Let's get the negativity out of the way.
This song was by far the worst song on the album. It's this country sing along with Mick Jagger has this really bad country accent. Oh, it was terrible. Oh, there goes Jacob.
Jacob Neil Young.
I thought this was terrible. It was by far the worst one. Maybe one of the worst songs I've heard from the Rolling Stones. I mean, it starts with that guitar. It's very country guitar playing, which I'm like, okay, this is definitely going to country, evidently. But then when he starts singing, and he starts telling the story about it. He's in a car and he's talking about a sermon. He talks about Jesus, and I'm like, okay, where we're going here? Why are you talking about? Don't talk about Jesus. I'm thinking, I don't know what he's telling a story from the perspective of somebody from the country, I guess. And she's got these far away eyes or whatever, talking about this girl. Yeah, I don't say it was bad.
I love this song. I love the countryside of the Rolling Stones. They're even with the funny accent from Mick Jagger, I thought it worked. The storytelling, there's a little bit of mix between satire and heartbreak, and that's what I really liked about the song. And the chorus is just so good. I love the harmonies mixed with the steel guitar, and I thought this was a fantastic song. I don't really have much to add. I'm sorry. I might have to hit only on a few minutes.
Okay.
Because I just saw they were calling for a tornado warning where I'm at. So
okay.
Maybe can I just share my thoughts on like the rest of the song real fast?
Yes.
Okay. Respectable, really good rock song. Some good guitar riffs. Before They Make Me Run, the Keith Richards song, another really catchy song. I liked it a lot. The last two were the hit songs. Beast of Burden, terrific song. I love there's almost kind of a, not really disco, but there's kind of a funkiness to it that I really like, and there's a great chorus behind it. And then Shattered, I love the overall groove on the album, especially the synchronicity of the guitar and the drums. But Mick Jagger sings great on it as well. Top five. Number 5. I won't even do honorable mentions because I got to prepare for the worst here. Number 5, Lies. 4, Shattered. 3, Miss You. 2, Beast of Burden. Number 1, Faraway Eyes. That was my favorite song on the album. It was Beast of Burden. I was thinking Beast of Burden, but I listened to the album again. I love Faraway Eyes. I thought it was a great country Rolling Stones song. I wish they did a full-on country album, to be honest. I love that one. Score, I'm going to go 9 out of 10. I think if the title track wasn't on there, I probably would have given it a 10 maybe. But, yeah, this is a great album. I really enjoyed it. So, you all have a good night. I might have to leave. It's starting to freak me out a little bit.
They
I'm
say
sorry, man. I'm
All
sorry
right.
you have to
All
do
right,
that.
you have a good one.
Take care. All right. So back to Faraway Eyes. You just reviewed it, right, Scott?
I was just about to.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I think the storytelling is really funny in this song. It kind of gives me the same vibes as Jesus He Knows Me by Genesis, because this guy's in his car and he's listening to this televangelist who's like, you can do anything in the name of God, but you got to come by the studio and give me money. And he falls for that. And then while he's on his way down there to give this guy his money, he's thinking about his girlfriend who's got faraway eyes, I think he's about to break up with her. It's either that or he's away from her and he's missing her. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny. That
he runs a bunch of red lights, I think, or something.
yeah. He was so inspired that he ran several red lights.
Red lights.
I was like, oh, that's kind of dumb.
That's not good.
But I actually really like this song.
Yeah, I really enjoy this song too. I'm sorry, Jason, you were in the minority on this one. I thought this was one of the best songs on the album. I mean, I knew this song. I knew you were gonna like this one because I know you and country. You have a very not so good relationship with country music. Like, if it's not poppy sounding, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
So I knew right away this was gonna be a song you weren't gonna like. And personally, I think this is one of the best songs on the album. I love the feel of it. When you right now, disgusted. You don't give a damn. Get a girl with faraway eyes. I thought this was a really beautiful song. Again, that's my opinion. Don't feel bad, Jason, for not liking it. Everyone has an opinion. I like the more traditional sounding country songs. That's what it comes down to. I like it. You prefer stuff like Shania Twain, Garth Brooks. You prefer that stuff, and that's where me and you will disagree. But
yeah.
So, but when it comes to folk rock music, me and Jason are very I like, Association, Buffalo Springfield. So don't worry, me and Jason agree on things. Don't worry. But that's about it though. We move on to a very respectable song.
Yeah, this is another song that I thought was decent. Again, I repeat myself, but I just can't get enough of these guitar playing. It's so good on this album. I feel like it's the best I've heard. But again, I might not have heard a Stones album in a while, so I kind of was somewhat impressed with the guitar playing on this one. And the two guitar players, I thought really were hitting off. And I don't have a lot to say about the song itself, but it's a fine song. It's not great. It's not bad. It's like it's good enough.
I really like this song, actually. I think it's another one of those rockers Stones do so well. I love the two guitars here with Ronnie and Keith. Ronnie is still with the band, and I think that's a good decision. I feel like he's almost been. I think he's been with the Stones now longer than Brian Jones and Mick Taylor combined. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's interesting, but definitely cementing his place as one of the members of the Rolling Stones, and not just the guy who replaced Mick Taylor.
I really like the song. It's another big highlight for me. I love again, this is kind of like another one of their kind of rockers. I love when they sing the chorus. He's so respectable, so delectable. Like I mean, after Faraway Eyes, it's like you have like this straight up country song. Like, yeah, you go from like punk to country to straightforward rock. I mean, to me, that just shows how much variety they had on this album, which is why I see why it's one of their big albums. And yeah, this is a fun song. I agree, Jason. I think the guitar work is incredible. So see, me and Jason agree on things. Just wanted to say that me and Jason agree on things. But yeah, really, 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 really good song. Then we move on to the next song, Beast of Burden. I'm joking. Before They Make Me Run.
All right, my first note is this is not Mick Jagger.
No.
So right away I was like, who is singing? This is not Mick. And you said it's Keith Richards.
Keith Richards.
I don't really know what he sounds like, but I was listening going,
Like this guy.
It's one of those things. It's hard because it's like Mick Jagger. I'm not the biggest Mick Jagger fan as far as vocals, but he does make the Rolling Stones sound like the Rolling Stones. It sounds, it's like when you take John Fogerty, whatever, out of CCR, it just doesn't sound like CCR. Even Freddie Mercury, you can take him out and it's fine. The members actually do a pretty good job, but still, it's like Freddie Mercury is the voice of Queen. There's certain things like that, and I feel like taking Mick Jagger out kind of hurt the song for me a little bit because I was like, I wasn't crazy about these vocals, but I think the song actually isn't bad. Like, I think it actually has a pretty good melody. Actually, it's kind of catchy. So the song kind of grew on me as it went on. I was like, first like, oh man, I don't think I like this. But then as I was listening to it, I was like, it's actually kind of catchy. I kind of like the overall melody of it. So it could be, I would really like the song. It could be one of my favorite songs on the album. But again, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like the Rolling Stones without Mick Jagger, if that makes sense. So that's why it was okay. It was fine.
I liked this song. I thought Keith did a great job on the vocals, and again, it's just another one of those Stones rockers. I feel like the main thing that I really like about this album is that just all the songs are just ones that you can kind of just, relax and just vibe out to.
My biggest problem with the song is that I enjoy when I listen to it, but then like I immediately forget how it sounds like. It's one of the songs where it's like, how does Before They Make Me Run? What do you think about that one? I'm just like, what's that song? It's on Some Girls. I'm like, oh, I love Some Girls. And it's like, how do you not remember that song? I'm like, is that the one before Beast of Burden? Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good song. Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah. How does it sound like though?
Like Keith Richards.
I think Keith Richards sounds. I think it has a Keith Richards. Yeah, like Scott said. But do you remember the medley? I'm like, I think that's how. Yeah, literally, that's how I. Every time I look at the name of the song, I'm like, Before They Make Me Run. That's literally me every time. Like I listen to the sound like hundreds of times, and I never remember this song. Probably because it's before this song, and the song that comes after it is this song, Beast of Burden. And I'll be brutally honest, Before They Make Me Run, easily my least favorite song of the album. Yeah, Beast of Burden's next song.
All right. I love this song. This is the top 5 favorite Rolling Stones song. I've always really liked the song. Obviously, it's a big radio hit. I've heard it since I was a kid. Listen to the radio. And man, I love the guitar playing on here. It's not a rocking song like the other ones. It's a different type. But it's like, I don't know. I love the tone of the guitar. It just sounds so cool. I don't know if they did something different to it, but that whatever I'm not doing it right, but the way they do it, it's like they're playing like these guitar licks throughout it's not like they're playing like the same riff over and over. Like sometimes you get like a really good riff, and you just play it throughout the song, and you're like, oh man, it's a great riff. But they're playing like this guitar, like, kind of more solo, like licks or whatever you want to call it. And it sounds great. It doesn't sound like the same all the time. It sounds like they're doing different things throughout the song. And the two guitars just sound so good as they're playing. And man, the melody is so good. I never be your beast of burden. Oh, love that. Love the overall sound of the song. And you get to that. Am I something enough? Am I bumping enough? I'm not too tall to see, or something like that. I don't know if I'm doing it to see. Oh, I love that. And then you get that. They go do that high pitch, like pretty, 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 or something like that. I can't. I wish I knew the lyrics, but I love it. Yeah, the overall sound is so good. Like I said, I mean, easily my favorite song on the album. I'm gonna spoil it. One of the greatest Rolling Stones songs, in my opinion.
Yeah, this song is amazing. This is one of the songs that I was familiar with before I listened to this album. Now, I listened to this album a long time ago when I first did the Rolling Stones ranking I guess almost 3 years ago now. But I had known this song for a while now because I used to listen to it a lot. Love this song. I love the guitar. And then Keith Richards has his little guitar licks in there. His little solo things in between. And I love the vocals. Mick Jagger sings really well on this. I'll never be your beast of burden. I'll walk for miles. My feet are hurting. And then you get like the falsetto parts. Pretty girl. Yeah. Ain't I rough enough? Ain't I tough enough? Am I rich enough? I'm too blind to see. Boom, 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 you get the so good. This is a good driving song. If you're driving and this song comes on the radio, or you're listening to the album, this song comes on, or you have a Rolling Stones playlist, whatever you're going to listen to this song. If you're driving and you're listening to this song, it's just like, I'll never be your beast of burden. Oh, hi, officer. I definitely wasn't driving 10 over the speed limit there. Anyway, yeah, no, it's a fantastic song. Great for driving. I love this one. It's definitely in my top 5.
They get you for going 10 over. Pennsylvania, they let you go. They let you go 10 over.
Oh, they let you go. No, Texas, they let you go 5 over. If you go 6 over, then they'll pull you over and give you a ticket. Or sometimes they'll pull you over and they'll just go, now I should be giving you a ticket for this, but I'm going to let you go this time. But just so you know, you were going 6 over the speed limit. Now the law states if you go 1 over, I should be giving you a ticket, but I'm going to let you go this. That's how they are. And they'll hide. They'll hide behind stop signs and where you can't see them too.
Oh, they pull me over and they say, "Where's the fire?" I'm like, "What?" Like I wasn't going that.
Yeah, I can't. Hold on now, there, Sonny. Where are you off to so fast?
Officer, I'm going to a Kansas City Royals game. In that case, come with me. I'll take you there.
I got pulled over one time, and you know what it was for?
What?
You were driving in the left lane, and there wasn't anybody you were passing.
Wow, they seem really strict down in Texas. I mean, when I'm driving down the highway, I could be going like 20 over, and I could pass by a cop, and they won't do anything. I'm not even joking you. Like,
they got more to worry about, I guess.
I guess. I mean, one time I was driving to work. This was back when I was working at KCR, and I was going like 90 because I was running late, and I passed a cop, and I'm like, "Fuck!" They didn't chase me. I'm not even joking. You didn't chase me.
Did you run 10 red lights?
No.
Oh.
No. But yeah, it was a 65, and I was going 90, and yeah, the cop didn't do nothing because I guess it was just so. I mean, normally they let you go 15 over. That they're very lenient troopers.
Oh
but
my gosh, 15
on the highway. Yeah, I know For you, it's
Texas,
like, oh,
it's like 6 over, and because I got to bank their quota.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess because I see people getting pulled over constantly, so I guess they have enough revenue already. I guess so. That's probably why they're so lenient in Pennsylvania. Anyways, my thoughts on this song. I went on a whole different
A little bit
tangent.
tangent.
At least it wasn't a half hour on the Monkees.
Is that who that was? I thought that was Keith Richards. I didn't know that was Mikey Dolenz.
Beast of Burden. Yeah, iconic song for a good reason. I think the song's great. Yeah, I mean, whenever I get to Respectable and I'm like, okay, this song rocks, and then I get to this song, I'm just like, can we get to this one already, please? I'm like, I'm just gonna forget about you already, because this song's so memorable. And yeah, I think Beast of Burden is a very iconic song. Well, we close out on yet another iconic song with bum, 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 Shattered.
I never heard this song before. I was like,
I'm shocked. I really am, because it's on my dad's rock playlist. I hear it on the radio a lot. I'm shocked. Today's the shock of the century for me.
yeah, you said there are 3 hits on there. I thought, was Just My Imagination a hit song? Because that's the only other song I can think of that could have been a hit song on here. Outside the first.
Wish.
I was like, yeah, I could see that being a hit song. But you're like, Shattered. I'm like, Shattered. Never heard this song before in my life, except I've heard this album before, but I forgot about the song. Didn't make any kind of dent in me. And yeah, I didn't care for it personally. It was like this talk singing kind of thing that Mick Jagger does. It works for like Miss You maybe or something like that. And then this one is like, okay, I want to hear some actual singing. It feels like he's talking. And it just felt all over the place, felt chaotic, like I said on another thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but it just didn't feel like very tight together kind of song. And maybe that's what makes it good for other people. They like, oh, I love that chaoticness and the all over the placeness. And I'm just like, it's like, I wish there was more of a good melody in there and some good singing, I guess. So I don't know. It wasn't a great closer for me.
I'm gonna do a 180 from that. I love this song, and here's why. This is the closest that the Rolling Stones ever got to doing new wave. Like, I know the Cars debut came out the same year, but it sounds a little bit like something that would have come off of the Cars first album. Like, you get those guitars like Shattered. And I love every time they do that. Shattered. I'm tattered. And then like Mick Jagger comes in and it just starts like, it's like speed talking almost along with the rhythm. And then it's all just leading up to that shattered. I don't know. I really like that, and I love the production on here. It's almost like borderline new wave. I'm like, the Rolling Stones did a new wave song. That's crazy. I love this one.
I love this song. This song is awesome. I love the song for the most part with the shattered, and then I don't remember any of the lyrics, but you know how it sounds like, and I really like it. But my favorite part is when they just start doing the shidoo-wops for some reason at the end, where it's like shidoo-wop, shattered, shidoo-wop. I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, is it trying to be a doo-wop song? And it worked for me personally. To me, this is the only hit song that's on my top 5. So take that for what you will. Speaking of that, what's our top 5 gonna look like?
All right, number 5, I got Some Girls. Number 4, The Whip Comes Down. 3, Just My Imagination. 2, Miss You, and as I said before, number 1 by far is Beast of Burden, one of the greatest songs they've ever done.
My number 5 is Respectable. Number 4, Just My Imagination. Number 3, Shattered. Number 2, Beast of Burden, and number 1. Girl, I miss you.
All right, so we have I believe Beast of Burden for Jason, Miss You for Scott, Far Away Eyes for Jacob. Well, I will. I'm gonna give a hint. I agree with one of those three.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, number 5, When the Whip Comes Down. Number 4, Respectable. Number 3, Shattered, the only hit song in my top 5. Number 2, Lies, and number 1, I'm gonna go with Faraway Eyes.
Guys, oh my gosh.
I love that song.
That was my least favorite song, and it's your guys' favorite. That just doesn't make any sense. Like, how does that keep
Hey, Miss You over here. The number 1 hit single in the number 1 spot.
I'm sorry, Scott, but it
Alright.
ranks second last. It ranks second last for me personally.
It's like when we did Led Zeppelin. My least favorite song was like everybody's favorite. I just don't get it.
Oh,
Yeah, no
no,
quarter.
no. I'm gonna disagree with that. No Quarter is awesome.
Yeah,
Uh,
like song on the album.
I'm sorry. I actually disagree with people who put that at number 1 because my number 1 is
The Crunch. Where's that confounded bridge?
Where's the confounded bridge? We're gonna find the bridge.
I had the Rain song at number 1, but I think No Quarter was number 2 for me.
I believe No Name, Briar, and Jacob had that as their favorite. And if you know who I
Jacob,
meant when
I
I say No Name, you'll understand. But
Jacob
Yeah.
definitely did. I think Briar did as well. Yours was the Crunch. I think Jason's was Over the Hills and Far Away.
Yeah.
you know, for the longest time that was my favorite. But then like for that after that review, my opinion has went to the Crunch.
That's such a good song.
The Crunch. Hey, at least we all love the Crunch. Everyone seems to hate that, and I don't get it. It's so funny.
Yeah, the Crunch is such a fun song. Hey, you wanna say about him, my good day? So stupid, but I love it. Anyways, another tangent. We were getting on many tangents now. What's everyone's score going to be?
Yeah, you guys might think it's a low score, but it's a high score for the Rolling Stones. That's an 8 out of 10. Believe me, that's high. I don't give a lot of high scores for Rolling Stone albums. I think I gave Let It Bleed an 8 out of 10. I think I gave Beggar's Banquet an 8.5. So if you're getting into the 8.5s, that's a good Rolling Stones album.
Yeah, I know you and the Rolling Stones just don't get along.
Now, I'm not the big of them, but you know.
I know you and Adam are definitely the stereotype of Beatle fans not being into the Stones.
Yeah.
I love the Stones album. There's 2 scores that I could give this. I'm trying to decide because the key factor is the Keith Richards song. It's just like Nick. I don't remember it. Everything else is fantastic, but that one, because I don't remember it, I'm like, does that affect my score?
How does
Screw
that song
it. 10 out of 10.
Oh, 10 out
How
of 10.
does that song go again, Scott?
I'll remember next time I listen to it.
Exactly. Like
It'll be good in the moment because I don't remember anything bad about it, and so that's why I'm going to go ahead and go with the 10. The rest of the album, I remember it, and it's fantastic.
I don't know why. I always forget that song. Like every time, every single time, I'm like, you know what? I might remember it this time. And then like you'd be like, hey Nick, how does that song go? I'm like, crap, I don't remember. I don't know. To me, that's crazy. I'm also giving it a 10 out of 10. Yes. To me, this is definitely one of their better albums. Is it my favorite Stones album? No, not really. It's not like one of my absolute favorite Stones albums because I think the Stones have a lot of better albums, like the Big Four, and Aftermath. I think those 5 albums to me are still their best 5 albums in my opinion. Actually, no, I this include Sticky Fingers. I'd say Beggar's Banquet, Let It Bleed, Aftermath, and Exile are their best 4 albums. To me, those 4 albums you can't beat those 4. And I'd also shoehorn Tattoo. Those have always been my 5 favorite for me.
I would add Sticky Fingers, but that's just me. I love Can't You Hear Me Knocking. That song is that's in my top 5 Stones songs as well. Can't You Hear Me Knocking?
My only problem is the song that comes after that song. If you know what I'm talking about. This is gonna be our average with 3 of us, me, Scott, and Jacob.
I like that average.
That's good average.
I'm gonna add Jason's score to see how much it lowers it.
Probably.
No.
It'll probably just bring it down to a 9.
Yeah, it might.
4. 9.25.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Well
no,
done.
still not bad.
Not bad.
But anyways, Jason, you have any final thoughts? Or Scott, you have any final thoughts?
I mean, again, 8 out of 10. It's a good album for me. I mean, it's not great. It's a solid Rolling Stones album. It's a good rocking. Like I said, guitar playing is so good on this album. That's why I kind of gave it an 8, because I just really love the overall production of a lot of the songs here. Plus, the 2 hit songs are great. I mean, those are great Rolling Stone songs, so that helps a lot on the album. It's a top 5. Like I said, I think it was like number 4 on my ranking all 24 Rolling Stones albums, so really high on my list.
The next album, Emotional Rescue, I don't remember very much of it at all other than the title track and She's So Cold. So it's going to be almost like a first listen. I'm excited to reappraise that album because I remember not liking it the first time, but as we all know, opinions can change. Take a look at my thoughts on, like, say, Pet Sounds. First time I heard that record, I thought, oh, this is so overrated, so boring. Second time I heard it, I'm like, absolute masterpiece. So we'll find out.
I don't think your opinion's gonna change on that album like that.
I might like it a little bit more, at least. I know the
Yeah.
title track is definitely warming up to me just because it's one of those so bad it's good songs.
Yeah. And Jason may or may not appear with us on that review. Depends on how much Jason likes it. Again, if you don't like it, Jason, don't join, because I don't want it to be a negative review where you dread it, where you're like, oh, I used to like this, now I don't like this kind of thing. Kind of like with Trick of the Tail. So
Because I used to love her, but it's all over now.
Give it a bad review.
But I brought you thinking it was going to be one of your favorites. But yeah, again, if your opinion changes for the worse, please let me know in advance. I appreciate that. As for my last thoughts, Caleb, you bandwagon, pick a team and stick with it, please. But that's my last thing I want to say.
I don't know what he's laughing at, but
it's probably one of the things you were saying earlier.
probably everything. There's been a lot of laughable moments on this video.
That's very true. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. So long.